In Scotland alone, 5,000 blood transfusions are needed every week to keep up with demand, but around 2 million potential healthy donors are being excluded. Current restrictions say gay men must abstain from sexual activity for 12 months if they want to donate blood due to an increased risk of blood-borne viruses such as HIV. MSP Linda Fabiani has written to Scottish Health Secretary Alex Neil challenging the rules.
Well, what I have read about is the fact that since 2002, they reckon there's been, a really stringent and good system in place, which has meant that HIV can be detected very, very easily. So there doesn't seem to me to be any scientific base at all for having this blanket ban. In 2011, they changed it and said that if someone had abstained from sex for a year, then they could give blood. But I think now's the time to look at it again and look for true equality across it, because there's many people, see giving blood as a responsibility.
The Scottish National Blood Transfusion Service states on its website that the conditions are in place to minimise patients' risk of receiving contaminated blood, but statistics suggest that these precautions may be unnecessary. According to sexual health charity the Terence Higgins Trust, the risk of contamination has been reduced to 1 in 4.3 million blood donations. Since 2003, there has been no new HIV diagnoses resulting from blood donations in the UK. There are also questions about why only gay men are restricted. Official health figures suggest that in 2010, over half of new HIV diagnoses were probably acquired through heterosexual sex. Many people feel the lack of similar restrictions for all women and heterosexual men, who may also practice unsafe sex, is discrimination.
We've had mad cow, we've had all sorts of things that have affected tainted blood, and if we're looking at, obviously towards a kind of AIDS thing, then yeah, maybe it is a good thing. I never really thought about it.
Unless there's clear medical reasons for it to be waiting 12 months, if there isn't, then of course it should. Why should people be treated differently? That's wrong, I would say.
I've not really thought too much about it. I suppose it does stigmatise them to some extent. You would think there might be other ways they could screen it rather than asking people up front. But I suppose it's a health situation, they have to ask the right questions.
It's generally disgraceful, to be perfectly frank. We should be having a proper debate about the causes of blood-borne illness and whether or not this can genuinely affect people in any way, shape or form. But I think everybody's confident now that the screening that can be done for blood and ahead of transfusions is so adequate, is so completely safe, that this is, as I said, a form of prejudice rather than any other real reason.
We contacted the Scottish National Blood Transfusion Service for a statement, but they declined to comment. Although many disagree with the current restrictions, they remain in place for now as the debate on blood donation equality continues. Jack Walsh, UWS News.